Hey, good evening, everybody. I don't know if you all can see us or not, or you can hear us, but we're here. We're live again, coming to you from beautiful wherever we're at. Where are we at? Upper Sandusky, Ohio.
Yep.
And we're just sort of waiting for the rest of the folks to show up. Apparently, no one is here so far. Maybe. I don't know if anybody can hear us. Just typing hello. Let us know if you're here.
There's only one person.
One person. That's probably us. So I don't know. Now it says there's 3. Anybody else out there? Oh, there we go. I can hear you.
Hey,
Hi,
everybody.
Hi. So I don't know why that doesn't come through here.
I don't know. I don't like that one.
We'll go back here. So there we go. Now we can see ourselves. So how is everybody doing tonight? And is our sound okay?
We had somebody say they could hear us.
That's good. Yeah. Hope you weren't expecting a lot tonight, because we're just ready to go. Watching Emergency. Oh, okay. I don't know what that means.
Emergency, the show? That's an old show.
Yeah, I don't know.
If that's what you're watching, or if you're really watching an emergency, then...
Yep, watching. Yep, there you go. I like that show.
I like that show.
Emergency.
Well, because, I didn't even think about it.
Yeah, we had
an interesting thing happened yesterday.
We are parked at the Love's truck stop in Upper Sandusky, Ohio, about 20 miles from our house. But we're here for the weekend. And last night, Judy went back to the back of the truck, and she was doing her yoga back there, like she does to do. And I was talking on the phone to a buddy of mine, and then I sort of noticed that there were sirens going off, and I didn't really think too much about it. And then, hi, Kim. And then, all of a sudden, I sort of noticed there were red lights out front. And what had happened, I came up front and looked through the front window. There was a fire truck and a police car and an ambulance out front of our truck. And
now, mind you, in Upper Sandusky, the emergency squads really don't get a whole lot of, excitement, I don't think.
No. So, turns out there was a tractor and trailer had pulled through, and he was sort of over by the shop, and apparently his brakes had caught fire because the back of the trailer was smoking.
Yeah.
And they had... the fire department was out there spraying it down, and the foam that they had put on the tires was like creeping towards our truck. This was happening directly in front of our truck, and so
and not too far from the fuel aisle.
Yeah, about 100 yards out. So it was pretty cool. So, hi, Jim. Jimmy.
Hello.
And so. Yeah, that was our excitement last night. That was our emergency. Squad 51 was not called. So they didn't show up. But anyway.
And there are people on here who might not know the show Emergency. It might be too young for it.
I don't know. Emergency was on like in the 70s? Early 70s.
I don't remember.
I know. Martin Milner and John McCord.
How do you remember those things?
I don't know.
I was probably a huge fan of Emergency, and I couldn't tell you who played on it.
You were like,
I know there was a blonde-haired and a dark-haired guy, on most.
You were probably like 3. Yeah. I don't know. I used to watch that all the time. It's a pretty cool show.
Yeah, it was.
So,
or I should say, it is. It was. It is.
So we are sort of here we're home, but we didn't go home. We're trying to sort of stay away from everybody. Failing miserably at that, but we're staying
more miserably than he is.
So Judy went out to her mom and dad's today to do laundry because we had to have that done, and of course Love's usually doesn't have a laundry facility.
And I didn't feel like fighting with Pilot.
Yeah, and
there's only like 2 washers or 2 dryers.
She went out and did that. She kept her social distance from everybody.
Yep.
Which is really hard when our grandson is around.
Yeah, that one's a tough one.
He's 3. We love him to death and just want to make sure he stays healthy and we don't get infected and we don't infect anyone else. So that was the hard part, especially when he's sitting there in the car as Mom's getting ready to leave and he's going, Poppy, give me a hug. I want a hug. And I'm just like,
And don't forget, and our grandson, for whatever reason, I have no idea. I think you started it with him.
Yes.
Where he has to hug one side of your shoulder,
Yes.
then he hugs the other side of the shoulder, and then he gives you a kiss.
And so.
And it's like, and so it took you forever. He wanted to give you a hug, and he was in the back seat of the car, and Jim went to go give him a hug, and he got the one side, but he couldn't get the other side.
And then
Jim couldn't understand what he kept saying. He was supposed to hug the other side, and he hadn't gotten his other side.
Poor little guy. I just feel so bad because you can't, it's just like, I don't want to make you sick. So we did.
But we did wash our hands, and we did,
hands.
keep breaths in.
I had her spray me down afterwards, so got this little spray bottle. Oh, here it is.
Yeah, there's our spray bottle.
Right there, and we keep it refilled with stuff, and we sprayed it down, and here. See that? Yeah.
There we go. There we are.
That's our life.
Now we can't breathe in here now.
Yeah.
Hi, Kathy.
Yeah. Oh, hi. Yeah, hi. RN4 Vets in New York. She likes your hair. That's crazy. So yeah, hi. Thank you. And I know you're on the front lines of all of this, and so be careful and be safe. So.
Hey, Randy.
Yeah. Hi, Randy.
Thought about you today while I was trying to keep my social distance.
Yes, Randolph Mantooth. I could not remember his name. Kent McCord is the guy that played on Adam 12 as the dark-haired
That's
policeman.
true. That's what I was. I was thinking of Adam 12 too when I was thinking about the people you were talking about. I was thinking about Adam 12.
Everybody's lost now.
There was an emergency conversation that happened before some of you hopped on.
Yes. Either they were good shows. So yeah. So that's our excitement. That's our weekend. We are actually going to stay here probably through tomorrow. We have a load that picks up Monday. It's a good load, but it picks up down in Kentucky. So I don't know if we're going to stay here or whether we're going to go down Monday morning or we're going to go down tomorrow afternoon.
I don't know. We haven't decided. We decide and then call Mom and tell her what we're doing. Yeah. I know the hair thing, and you know what the hair thing is so funny today because I was sitting there and I came in and my hair is just it's raining out today. They got flood warnings and flood watches out here everywhere. It's just a drowning mess.
It's puffy.
It's like woof, and it's all curly and wavy and it's fun. Anyway.
Yeah. So.
And probably pretty blonde looking.
It is.
Although it's a little gray if you look real
grayish
close.
looking. So I don't know. Anyway.
I don't know what all the women are doing out here with no ability to get their hair done, and they're, I know some of the drivers were complaining about their nails. I don't worry too much about it.
Yeah, definitely so. Hair doesn't make it good.
Thank goodness.
And while she was gone today, I did some cooking.
Yes, Jim actually did the cooking in the truck today. I didn't do anything.
So now we have some. What did we have?
You're the one who made it. Oh, we did red sloppy
salad, red sloppy joes, brown sloppy joes, some sausage,
chicken salad.
Yeah, all meat.
Yeah, all meat. Well, that's usually what we do. With the sides are easy to warm up in the
Doesn't matter for me. Okay. Yeah, it's just hair, right? I'm sort of headed that way also, as you can see. My hair.
You keep your hat on for a reason, Jim.
Yeah, my hair. Well, not really. It's all messed up. Anyway, mine's migrating southward for the rest of it. I'm not gonna go there. So anyway, getting to look older when this is done. It takes me 3 weeks to get into my hairdresser. Oh, jeez. Let's let it grow out, Judy. See, I've told her that.
Great. I know.
She did that for like a year. And
I know, but then I also get tired of the long, my hair, and I don't know if you could tell it, but it is so thick and so, I don't know what. It never lays the way it's supposed to ever.
No.
Randy can attest to this. She's lived with me.
Yes.
It's never been quite right.
No.
But and getting out here on the road, it was tough, beforehand, you know,
Yeah.
before all of this, to try to get into a hairdresser when you're out here, when you have a favorite person at home that people, um, that people just can't. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. I don't even know what I was going to say. I was reading while I was talking. I can't do that.
Newer trucks. Hey, to be FedEx custom critical, do they require newer trucks? Well, no.
Well, it depends on what you consider new.
Newer. I
Is it
believe
10 years?
it's for a T-Val truck, which is what we drive, the refrigerated temperature, it has to be 10 years or newer. I do not know if there's any restrictions on like a surface truck, but
I don't know.
yeah, I mean, it obviously has to pass the DOT physical, but we would actually be able to drive the truck past 10 years, but we just would not be able to do T-Val freight on the truck.
We could do refrigerated freight.
We
just
have
couldn't do
friends that have a truck that it's got to be close to 20 years old, right?
T-Val. Oh, surface wise?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember
mean,
how old
it's-
their truck is.
Yeah, the only restriction that I know of now, I don't know about them signing you on. I do not know if there's an age limit. That would be something you'd have to talk to them about the sign on.
You're talking about us? Age limit?
The truck age limit, wife.
Gotta watch out for that. Gotta watch out for that. Yeah, because it's technically the box that
Yeah, it's
ages
the
out.
refrigerated, the box and the reefer
insulation
unit
and stuff.
itself. Yeah, they have to be 10 years or newer for T-Val. You can actually, from what I understand, can actually haul refrigerated freight as long as it will stay, you know, and you can pass the inspection and whatever. But
Yeah,
for the T-Val, it
stays
has to be
within
10 years or
the
newer.
range that the bigger range they have.
Yeah, and other than, like I said, for surface, I don't know if there is a time limitation because I know we have friends that have a truck that is early 2000s and it's still on with FedEx.
Yeah, I don't
So,
remember how old theirs was. 2004 maybe?
that's what I was thinking, somewhere in that area.
I don't know.
So, yeah, we don't know. We're no use. What? But yeah, that's my advice for everybody. If you have a real question about, you know, we know a lot of stuff, but we don't know that much. So, I don't know.
We don't know nothing.
Hey, if you're just joining us, thank you for joining us. We are going to be here for a little while tonight. If you would please go and give us a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed to our channel, please do that now.
Right now, get it done.
We'll wait.
No. Yeah, we'll play that teacher wait time. Let's wait for the next person to answer the question and
But,
see how much silence that can go through the classroom. without
Thanks to
nobody
everyone
saying
that's
anything.
taken time out of their evening to come and join us and watch our videos, and we appreciate those that watch the videos. We've had some folks say that we keep you entertained during these trying times. I guess that's our new purpose in life. So. In red? Yeah, I know. I usually wear the darker colors, but because a lot of what I usually do, our FedEx shirts just annoy the heck out of me. They're
not that
scratchy.
bad, everybody. They're not that bad.
But you know me. If it is not cotton, I do not wear it. Everything I wear is cotton, and those shirts are not cotton. So I wear a shirt under my FedEx shirt every time.
Well,
all the
not to
time.
mention when it's cold outside, we wear long sleeve
And
shirts
so I'll wear like a long sleeve shirt if it's cold, but they're all 100% cotton t-shirts just like this one. And so usually, you know, I've worn it under my shirt, so I usually wear a black or a blue shirt. So yeah, it's the weekend. I'm in my fancy clothes.
Well, and we had this discussion, and Kathy, you probably enjoy this one. He pulled down that shirt, and I said, "Really?" I said,
Yes.
"That red is not the same as my red."
She was worried we were going to clash.
Our reds may not blend together. I am such a fashion,
Oh yeah. I essentially, if you looked up in my cupboard, I've got black t-shirts and dark blue t-shirts and dark green t-shirts, a couple of red t-shirts, and I used to have my Buckeye shirts, but I don't have any Buckeye t-shirts right now. I don't know why. I think I have one up there.
I don't know.
And it's black.
You have sweatshirts, but you
But I have
don't
sweatshirts, so now usually if it's cool out, I've got my sweatshirt on. So I know it's just sort of weird. Favorite brand of GPS? Well, since we've always had the Rand McNally's, I will go with that.
That is our favorite, and I think sometimes, Kim, it just depends on what you get used to, and we've had decent luck, I guess, I don't know what you call it, with the Rand McNally's, and
Right.
And that was the first one we got. That's kind of what we've stuck with.
Right.
And I am not one for change. So this truck actually came with a GPS on the dash or whatever, I don't know what you call it, and within the truck itself. And I think it was a Garmin kind of interface on it.
Right.
And
right.
I just couldn't get used to it.
No, we didn't like it at all.
So Jim remounted ours, and we used that one.
Kathy, just to let you know, it's the old saying goes, I bleed scarlet and gray, so it's all inside.
It doesn't have to be on the outside.
Yeah. Yeah, the 8 Pro is what we have. So we are fairly well pleased with it.
Yeah, I think so.
It's got some quirks, but they all do.
But they all have their own.
There's the nastiness.
The rolling thunder.
We are supposed to get a fairly icky storm tonight, right about now. And so that sounds like it's rolling through. I don't know if you can hear it or not, but we've got rolling thunder happening outside the truck. The power probably won't go off, which is a plus.
By the way, Mom and Dad's, it did today. Just went off, flickered off, and the lightning literally hit, didn't hit the house, but it was right next door, right next to the thing.
John Fletcher said, if they have the X-Motor show in July, do you plan on going? We don't know. Last year we went. We had a good time. It was fun.
We always like going to the show.
We had talked about going, but I will keep my doom and gloom predictions to myself. But I highly doubt whether they'll have that this year. What's the worst storm you were ever in the truck? Well,
let's see if we have the same answer.
See if we have There's three that I can remember, and one of them wasn't really a storm, but it was just nastiest. Once on our way from California to Columbus, Ohio.
See, you remember where we go. I don't remember.
We were in Oklahoma, and we were chased by a tornado. And this is one of the nasty ones that went through Oklahoma City. Not the really, really bad one that hit the school several years back. It was a year or two after that. But it did go through there, and we were chased. We could actually see it behind us several miles.
It was pretty far behind us.
It was quite a ways behind us. And actually, we were on a load that we were supposed to go all the way up 44 up to Tulsa. And I was watching the radar. And when we got to Oklahoma City, we went north on 35. And there was an opening in this big, huge, long line of storms. And we managed to go right through that opening and never got hit with a storm. So it wasn't really bad.
Yeah, it was because there was one in front of us too.
Yeah.
That's why we decided to go up 35.
Yeah.
Right. That's the road we said.
Yes.
Because when we had to call, generally when something like that happens where we deviate from our route, we call our carrier and say, hey, we need to deviate. And it happened to be pretty late at night. I was driving.
You were driving, but it was still in the afternoon. It was only like 5 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah, it was, but it was after the customer had closed.
Right.
So, and we were just like, we got to go this way, because if not, we're going to get either hit from behind or we're going to run into the next one.
Yeah.
And we needed to go a different route. And we avoided both of them, thankfully.
Yeah, the nastiest storm I would say we were ever in was that night up in Illinois when you got caught in that rainstorm. If you look at the map, you see these storms go all the way across the country, and there's a big, huge line of storms. Well, we were coming down Interstate 39 from Wisconsin and had just crossed over into Illinois. And if you looked at the map, we were at the very, very top of this storm. And Judy ran into it, and it was raining so hard and the wind was blowing so badly that she actually told me to get up front and get your seatbelt on, because I don't know if we're going to get blown over or not. And we were creeping at like 10 mile an hour, and the big trucks were creeping at like 10 mile an hour, and you couldn't see.
Yeah, and the other hard part about that too is you can't see the water lane in the road either.
It was
the four-wheelers have a hard time staying on the road with those.
Nasty. And then once.
And did that one have hail in it too?
Yeah, it did.
I was going to say, I thought that one had hail in it.
Which is always scary, but we were at the very, very top of that storm, and we just happened to hit it.
All right, was that the one too that the lightning was hitting really, really close?
Yeah.
It was just, I was hanging onto the steering wheel, closing my eyes.
And
It would be so bright, the lightning would just and it would be right beside the truck.
Was rocking back and forth. The wind was blowing so hard. It's hailing outside. We don't know what's going on. You can't see. I mean, the rain is horizontal. I mean, it is blowing so hard. It is horizontal. You can't see anything. You don't want to pull off the road because there's traffic. I mean, it's like 5:30 in the afternoon, and so the roads are not horribly packed, but there's traffic, and it was just nasty.
You notice all the stories involve me driving.
Yeah, it always does. I don't. And then once
snowstorms and regular storms.
As far as wind,
oh, that was in Nevada.
We were in Nevada. We were coming from Reno down to Las Vegas, and we were out on just north of Hawthorne, California. There's this big lake. It's like 15-20 miles long, and you hug the mountain right above the lake, and we literally thought we were going to get blown over. The wind was coming down those mountains and out into the lake so bad. There was a tractor and trailer right behind us, and Judy's literally creeping along at 5 miles an hour. And again, she's like,
and then I felt like I was still going too fast.
Get up here and put your seatbelt on. We thought several times we were going to get blown over, and there was no place to hide, no place to get off the road.
The other fear of that was even stopping and even going as slow as we were. It was just like, and I seriously don't know if this was true or not, but I literally felt like at one point in time the wheels from the truck popped up off the pavement.
Right. It was that bad.
And there was no place to stop.
There was no place to stop.
We were coming off it, and everything was fine until we made that one turn, and then all of a sudden there was the wind, and there was no place to get off.
Probably the most surreal thing I've ever seen since I've been out here is to our left. Now we're on a mountain. The mountain is to our right-hand side, and the lake is to the left, and it's a 2-lane highway, US 95. And there's just a little bit of a guardrail there, and then it drops off probably another 200 foot down to the lake. But you could look out to the lake, and the wind was coming down the mountain out into the lake, and it was literally lifting streams of water up, and it was going up into the air, looked like 100 feet, 300 feet into the air off of that lake. And it just looked so weird. It looked foggy, misty.
By the way, he noticed more of that than I did because I was trying to keep the truck on the road.
I was looking.
I was like, I didn't even remember that.
Sort of one of the weirdest things I've ever seen. And this lake is 15-20 miles long.
Yeah. Do we know the name of that lake? I don't remember what the name of that lake is.
Unless maybe it's Hawthorne Lake. I don't know. So anyway,
Somewhere
look it up on a
there.
map. You'll see what I'm talking about. So, hi Larry. We are well. So far, so good. I hope you all are doing fine in Alaska. So, I don't know if you got snow or not. I saw the other day you had posted something about a late spring. So, we don't have snow anymore. We have rain. So,
rain and more rain.
now there's content I'd like to see. No, you would not, because I would not be filming such content.
It was like, the whole time.
That was scary. That is probably the most tense I've ever been since we've been out here. I mean, that was scary because we thought we were going to get blown over. And the truck behind us, the big truck behind us, he was creeping along too. And every time it was weird because you could see when the wind was going to come down the mountain because you could see it in front of you because it was blowing dirt and everything else. And so you just sort of braced for when you knew it was going to hit. And luckily we didn't go over. I don't know how we managed not to go over because
it was a God thing. That's all I can say. He was there holding us onto the road.
Unfortunately, we had a load of stuff that was going to a convention center in Vegas, and so we actually had a full load on the truck. We were loaded.
Thankfully,
we were loaded heavily. It's about as much weight as we could carry at the time. So it worked.
I know that's a weird thing that that I don't think I thought about before I started driving, which is how much freight you have in the back.
Right.
And when you're going through wind or when you're going through snow on the roads or whatever, it's really good to have a heavy truck. Now, if you're trying to go up a hill, not so much.
Right.
But it's nice to have the heavier. I guess it goes back to the days, and we have a pickup truck at home in the snow. You always weight down the back,
right?
Because then it keeps you ungrounded.
Yeah. Let's see, Larry. Yeah, I saw that this morning. I saw your Facebook about the moose outside the window.
Oh, that is
So,
awesome.
yeah. And stay home mandate goes into effect today. Wow. So you guys, are you affected by that? Are you staying home, or are you an essential person? Like, we are. We are considered essential for being truck drivers, I guess.
We are essential.
Do you use a CB in your truck? Only if there's we probably should, but I honestly, it's not like it used to be when my dad drove. It's a lot of times.
Or when we had one at home.
It's just vulgar, and so no.
Although if you want a little entertainment and you want to have fun at night and you want to listen to some people talk, people don't use it as much.
No.
And so it's not as chatty as it was when we were growing up. Where everybody and their brother was on it.
I'll turn it on if there's traffic or something. Probably should leave it on. If the weather looks bad, or like if it's foggy, or if it's reduced visibility, then I'll turn it on from time to time.
Yeah. Hey, does anybody on here have a CB handle, by the way? Back in the day, we had handles. I don't even know if they do that anymore.
Hey, you. Hey, whatever. Working home since Monday, not essential. Wish we were out there doing what you're all doing. Being essential. Well, I don't know. We have plans to stay out here as long as we can. We really don't know what's going on as far as. I will say this: we actually hauled a load the other day that we didn't talk about, and I won't talk the details about it, but it was a load that was part of the effort. Let's just say it was an essential load. We'll go there.
An essential load, yeah.
And
most of our loads are essential right now.
We knew this was not a normal, everyday, run-of-the-mill load. This was a load that was going to an area that, what we were hauling had to do with what's going on in the world right now. And so that's all I'll say about that.
That's all you'll say about that.
So, we have been involved with, I guess I will say more.
As he keeps talking.
So at least one of the loads that we've hauled have been in response to what's going on, and so we're going with that. Yeah.
Fire department. Thank you for that.
Thank you very much. Yes.
There was a fire truck out here.
I'm sorry, Larry, to hear that.
Motor mouth. I wonder how many CB handles out there that are like that.
Yeah.
My dad's was Country Plumber.
Really?
Yep. That was my dad's handle. I don't remember mine. We all had them, but that was back in the day where we had like a CB at the house.
Right.
And then it reached out, and everybody kind of had them in their cars and their pickup trucks, and if heaven forbid you went to the trucker channel, channel 19.
Channel 19.
We got caught on that. We weren't allowed to be on the CB anymore.
Yeah, I don't know about the general age of folks, but if you never lived through the early or the late 70s, right about the time that Smokey and the Bandit came out, C.W. McCall's song Convoy, CBs were everywhere. They were basically the social networking.
Yes,
we had
social network way back then.
I mean, I can remember going home and everybody had a CB. Everybody, all the kids I knew had CBs, and they would talk on the CBs, and it's just really crazy.
Yeah, and people don't do the breaker 19.
No, it was much different back then.
Yeah, and use all the CB lingo. They don't do that anymore.
My dad had CBs in his truck. He didn't use them too much, but he on occasion would. And we had a base station at the house. We had a nice.
I can't remember what channel we were.
The base station is actually in our basement at the moment.
We have it at our house.
we have a CB antenna at our house. It's been there since we've moved in 20 years ago, and so I actually hooked the coax up to it here several times, and we live so far out away from everybody. There's not much on it, but it still works. Still works, and so I was listening to it here a couple of months ago. I was home down in the basement fiddling around with stuff. So,
yeah, and we, I was gonna say our antennas we've never boosted up here in the truck, so we don't get much more than a mile down the road. I mean, whoever's right next to us, basically we can get.
Smokey, yeah, they still talk about Smokey Bears. Some of the older folks still use the old lingo, Best car travel game.
Are there any
we ever-
bears in the air?
Trucks CBNC was right, yeah. Desert Fox. I think my dad's was Double Eagle. I think is what his was, and I have no idea what mine was. So, but my dad was a Mason, and he was part of the Scottish Rite, and part of the symbol for the Scottish Rite is a double-headed eagle, and so that's where he got his from. Trivia there.
Little things you never know.
Little things, yeah. Blueberry Buckle. Smoking and choking.
Smoking and choking, your dad's was. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, see, we should bring that back. I don't know. It would be neat. Maybe they will.
Start being Facebook names,
Facebook handles? Yeah.
Or Facebook handles. What are your YouTube handles?
That's true. Ours is, I don't know. Well, I guess you do have, you have channel names, I guess. Sort of the same thing.
Yeah,
So.
yeah, I guess. YouTube
In
is
a way.
CB. You can't talk back, though, except for fun thing.
Hi, Rushing family in Tennessee. How are you guys doing? Has any of this affected you? I know you're home. Probably.
Yes, because you guys don't have school, do you?
Yeah.
She's being quiet. Let her type. Let her type.
So.
Now, Randy, you were talking about travel games, which we remember the ABC's games or whatever, but the CB, that's kind of cool that you do that. But Jim and I were just talking.
Online teaching. Good for you.
Yeah, I think Randy's teaching at home too.
Yeah.
They both are. Randy gets the Spanish, and I think Randy was teaching. I caught that on Facebook. I can't remember if it was last week, Randy, where you were teaching about doing chores at home and teaching them Spanish through their chores at home. I thought that was an awesome idea.
Starting Monday. Yeah. Cool. Well, I hope everybody's well. Stay safe and stay home. Yeah. I love the things on Facebook where the parents are talking about, like day 3 of homeschool, already expelled all the kids, or they all graduated already. So, kids will use against me later. Yes, they will.
We think the same thing about doing this, Randy.
Yeah.
This is something, but
So,
I had a thought that popped in my head, and I can't remember what it was.
and then it's gone.
And it just went right out the window.
So,
I don't know.
So you want to get to our list? We have a list. We have a list of.
Well, I was just actually,
topics.
when Randy was going and she was talking about games, I was just thinking about people at home right now who are, and this doesn't have to do with just what's going on now, but in trucking, we have time when we're down, and
Right.
there's really not much around some of the truck stops and things to do. But I'm sure there are people at home that are going crazy. Would you stop doing that?
I'm clicking around and looking.
He's clicking. When I'm talking, he's doing other stuff, which is very distracting. Stop it.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Get back to where you're at.
All right, there we go.
Because you're missing all the comments. Anyway, I was just wondering if anybody out there has some games that they do or play that you could do in the truck, or do at home if you're at home and you're stay home. I guess that's what it's called. Is that called stay home? What they're saying for people to do? Is that the terminology?
Yeah, that's called stay home.
I don't know.
I remember one of the games we played with our kids when we were little was like license plate bingo, to see how many license plates from the different states you could see
Yeah.
when we took a couple of trips. So, yeah. But you can't do that at home. Well, I guess you could, but it'd just be hard. You'd have one state and that'd be it.
So Randy, what's the scavenger hunt
Skip food 3
Zoom wise?
times a day. Da-da-da-da.
Because the other thing we were talking about, mainly because I think all of my kids are going stir crazy right now, and we have talked about being out on the road and how we could maybe get us as a family together on a specific day or night of the weekend or the week, and just
Right.
where we can all And when we used to gather as a family, we'd play euchre and do some board games and things like that. So we're just trying to figure out how to utilize like software like a Zoom or app. I guess it's an app, not software, and do something.
No, see, Zoom conference call. Something they had to find and show us the item. Oh, there you go. So it was using Zoom, and you've got Zoom.
Yep, we do have Zoom.
Yeah, we use it from time to time. So that's cool. We could do that. We could have everybody sign up and do a Zoom thing.
Yep, and we've done just groups of drivers. We've used Zoom, and with our essential oil stuff that we learned about, we've done some Zoom meetings that way.
Yeah, Zoom is pretty good. Judy actually has a subscription to Zoom. We've used it, and we've actually.
Yes, because I can't just do an hour. It's free if you do less than an hour, but I can't keep my meetings or my groups less than an hour.
Yeah, she used it. Actually, Judy does it with a group of ladies, and she was doing it with a Bible
study. Randy
small group.
Said,
yeah.
So yeah, you do. We should get our Bible study groups together, Randy.
Okay. Well, we did have a couple things we wanted to talk about, and this is truck related.
Oh, do we have to go there? I guess it's the weekend,
Whatever. We had a DOT inspection done the other day, and this is something that FedEx requires us to do twice a year. The actual federal standard is once a year, but FedEx has us do it twice. And we came here to the Loves in Upper Sandusky to have ours done, which is where I've been getting them done for the last three times. Well, they did not have anybody that was certified to do that. You actually have to have a certified brake inspector to perform the inspection on the brakes, and they did not have the person here. They will be here tomorrow, actually.
Yeah, and they do call them DOT inspectors
Yes.
or whatever. So.
And so we actually had to go up to the Petro in North Baltimore, Ohio, which is about 30 miles from here. And I called, and they said, yeah, come on. And so we went up and got the truck inspected. He found a couple of things, which I'm glad about, because if there's something wrong, I want to know. And we ended up putting a new water pump on the truck. That was another $500.
Yeah.
And but the DOT inspection is something we have to have done.
Which it was really nice, and all the DOT inspectors do a decent job, but he just seemed to be like extra
on
thorough.
top of it, yeah.
And which is great for us because as much as you crawl around and you look at your truck, there are certain things that are not on what we learned as a pre-trip.
Right.
And that one bolt thing that he had to tighten up, that's not on a pre-trip.
There was a torsion bar that's on the back of our sleeper that had a nut that had sort of, don't want to say it backed off, but it loosened up just a little bit, and so he tightened that up. And the water pump was something that had just started, and I had noticed a couple days ago that there was just a little, when the coolant in the truck is red, and when it dries, it turns white. And I noticed there's a hose, big hose, about a 3-inch hose that comes out of the radiator and runs down the front of the engine. And I noticed that there was just a little bit of spray. It looked like it had sprayed on it almost. And I actually thought it's from where I had put antifreeze in it the other day, and it had dripped, because it would be right where you put the coolant in. And so it turns out it was actually the water pump starting to weep a little bit. And so we replaced the water pump. A little preventive maintenance there.
Yep. And that wasn't really part of the DOT inspection. That part was not on your inspection form, but he noticed it.
Yeah.
And we thought that was a really wonderful thing.
And the main thing we came home for was we put a new set of drive tires on the truck. And some nice new Bridgestone tires. Truck rides much nicer.
Mm-hmm.
And so we got that done.
And I know we've probably mentioned this before, but we have a local shop that has been in business forever, and they are so good, and they just know their stuff. And
that's one of the hardest things to wrap your mind around doing this trucking is, when you take a truck into the shop, we usually figure we're going to spend at least $1,000, and if we get out without spending $1,000, we're happy. But it's just trying to find shops that you trust. And the folks here at the tire company, there's one of the places we trust. We'll actually deadhead to come home and have them do our tires.
We did.
rather than having someone out on the road do it. And so that's just, we're having somebody to work on your truck. It's just one of those things. So I don't know. I think everybody's went to sleep.
Well, it's because you're talking and you went to a truck-related topic.
Yeah,
so.
Apparently. I just bored everybody in. Right,
Everybody
I lulled them
needs to
right
listen.
into submission. Look at that. So, but anyway, hey, look, we have 7 likes.
Woohoo! You guys need to get on that like button.
Yeah. A couple other things. Weather? What'd you have weather for?
Oh, I just had weather, and you already mentioned it. It was rainy, snow, or not snow, but
Okay.
rainy and stormy and flooding and and that's the other thing, flooding out there. When it rains like this, Ohio's not quite so bad, as far as flooding on the roads and stuff. Oh, I lied, because Columbus is horrible on 70 right through somewhere, because we ran into that one time. But we need to. You're doing it again. Stop.
Randy said, I'm impressed how you all take the cost of repairs in stride. Yeah. I spent about $2,500 on the truck Friday between
That
the
goes,
tires.
Ouch.
The tires were 17 something, and then the DOT and everything else was 800 and some. So yeah, $2,500. I've talked about this before. It's number creep is what I like to call it. The loads pay a lot, but we have big expenses also, and so you get that weird situation where like $100 on this truck is, I don't want to say it's nothing, but we don't really think so much about $100. Every time I go and fill the truck up, it costs me, well, now fuels came down, but a lot of times it costs $200 to fill the truck up, and we're doing that every day.
Yeah.
So it's just one of those things. I don't know how to describe it. We take in a lot of money and we spend a lot of money, and so it's just that's how it works.
For part of the business, it's good. Cindy asked the name of our truck shop here, and it's in Upper Sandusky. They also have a branch in Tiffin too.
Right. Well, that's for the tires. That's Wilson Tire.
Yeah. Well, I thought that's what she said.
In Upper Sandusky, the name of your shop in Ohio.
I was just assuming, Cindy, you were talking about the tire shop.
What
That's
we
what
have,
you were talking about. It's Wilson's.
Yeah,
and they're off of 30.
Yes, US 30 and US. Well,
now it's not 30.
It's in Upper Sandusky.
Yeah, it's in Upper Sandusky.
And then usually over the years we have taken our truck down to Stoops Freightliner in Lima, Ohio. Is usually where we take it to have anything, repair-wise done. Freightliner-wise.
Mm-hmm.
But the other day we ended up taking the truck in for a DOT at the Petro in North Baltimore, Ohio, which is out on Interstate 75 going up towards Toledo. Nice big shop.
In Toledo.
I did want to say something about that though. We went into the shop and we were in there for at least 3 hours by the time he did the DOT inspection. He fixed the light on the truck. He put that water pump on and everything else. We were the only truck in that shop for 3 hours, and I've never seen that. And I mean, this is a big Petro 5-bay shop. I have never been in a truck repair shop where we're the only truck there.
Yeah, that was kind of a surreal kind of thing.
Very, very bizarre.
That was really weird.
Was that a brand new truck when you bought it? Yes, it was. We bought it brand new in 2014, December of 2014.
And it was a 2015.
Yeah, and I think it had like 2,000 miles on it.
Yeah.
We got it because.
And that's because it was Texas.
Well, the truck was made in Mexico, and the sleeper was put on the truck in Fort Worth, Texas, and then they drove it up here. So it had about 2,000 miles the time we got it. So.
Oh, bye, Randy. Good night. Love you
Good
too.
night, hon.
And you guys be safe.
Say hi to Dave and everybody else.
Yeah, and the boys.
And the family. So,
and your girls too.
Thank you. So yeah, the truck was new. Well, like I said, by the time they got it up here, it's 2,300 miles. I think is what it was on.
Yeah, because the rest they finished it up in Ohio.
Yep, we've driven it since day one, since we had it. So we've had it about 5 years and going on 4 months now, probably. So yeah, and still feels like home. So
still feels that way. I'm one who does not care for change too much. So this it's gonna be hard hard to change trucks.
Right.
That's gonna be difficult for me, and it's just because I have everything where I need it.
It's like she said, we don't like to move. It's like
I hate
moving.
moving.
It's
I
like
hate
moving from
moving.
one house to another house. We haven't done that in 20 years. We've lived in our house
And
since.
sometimes I swear we got 5 rooms of stuff up in these cupboards.
Yeah.
That I'm just like, where did that come from?
I think we have more stuff in here than we do in our house still now. So, since we sort of moved out of our house, we are like the minimalist folks now. We don't really have much of our stuff. Well, other than just
Just
junk.
storage stuff.
Storage
That's-
stuff.
we've-
But yeah,
So
our daughter has sort of made the house her own. She's put some
She's trying,
pictures
yep.
and some neat stuff on the walls up and everything. And so yeah, it's almost like going on a vacation when you go home.
Yep.
The other thing, what do you got on there? Walmart. Judy took a trip to Walmart today. And so how was that? Because I did not go.
Yeah. Oh, it was still pretty bare. I mean, the toilet paper and stuff was still gone. And of course, I don't know. In our little remote area in Ohio, we're not. There's not as many cases here as far as the virus goes.
Right. It's still
but people are still
uncommon.
taking things off the shelf. And our Walmart here in Upper is one of those Walmarts that kind of get the leftovers from everybody else, from all the other Walmarts.
Yeah.
And so it's one of those stores that doesn't always have what we need in stock because they don't carry it all the time. It just depends on if other stores
Right.
don't carry it. So,
So Kathy, we actually had we parked the truck in our driveway. We've got like a 2 to a 3 car garage. I don't know what, you could probably squeeze 3 cars in it, and so it's wide in the front where you could have 2 cars set side by side. So we parked
and
the
nobody
truck.
parks their
no one parks
cars
there.
in there.
Yeah, so we parked the truck in front of that, and then I just run we plug the truck in. We have shore power, so when we're home we plug it in, and I've got like 20 amp service out in the garage. So I've got a big 50-foot long extension cord that we run to the truck, and we plug it in, and we don't have to run the generator or anything. So yeah, and it's gravel. We had
There
gravel
are
hauled
times
in.
like this weekend that we may have decided not to go home because we do have to kind of cut into our yard a little bit.
Yeah, we
to-
have a weird driveway.
we
It's
have a
it
stupid-
sets at
we have
a
a stupid driveway.
It's not at a 98-degree angle to the road. It's like at a 45-degree angle, and it's going the wrong way. So we have to make a really big sharp turn at the end of the driveway.
So I've never figured out why that driveway goes that way.
We've
don't
lived in
know.
this house for 20 years, and there's a lot of stuff about the way the house was set up that I don't agree with. We live in the scenic area we live in is beautiful. I don't like the house, but I really love where we live. So it's one of those weird things.
Yeah.
So anyway,
And
so we
if
didn't
we
like
have-
the house, so we left.
And if we have any, I don't know if we've mentioned it before, but when our road that we live on is actually, we call it a cow path road because really it is only one lane. It's still paved, but it's not. It's
Looks like a driveway.
Yeah. It's like a paved driveway,
Yeah.
basically. And we pray that the half a mile we go to our house from the county road that is actually 2 lanes, that there's no one coming the other direction.
Kim asked, "What is your favorite organization tools to use in the truck?" We don't have any. We're very unorganized. We don't have anything other than just everything's thrown in a cupboard.
And you open up and
And-
hope something doesn't fall down on
Yes,
you.
you take your life into your own hands every time you open one of our cupboards. So the only organizational thing is we've got like this little basket thing behind the sink, and that's really about it. And then in the drawers we've got like silverware holder and that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
But,
and we do put the I don't know what it's called, this stuff back here that's the matting or whatever they
Yes,
put it down.
yeah.
Drawer liners.
Yeah,
that we
the
put
drawer
on
liner,
top of
that stuff's.
the counter to help it from sliding.
So Sydney, no, our new truck will not have a shower, a toilet in it.
No.
So, yes, and Jeff Wilton is referring to the greatest state in the union, Ohio, and yes, that is Ohio for you, the best state.
Yes,
Thank
he must have noticed my shirt right off the bat.
That's true. Yes. Thanks, Jeff, for pointing that out.
Oh, and Cindy, we decided we didn't really want a shower and a toilet, and that was before all of this happened. You know, I may have changed my mind.
Yeah, you might have changed your mind now.
Because
So
it's just
you're
that, you know, we get going in inside and out of the truck stops now. I mean, we generally I went in a lot more than Jim did, but now I kind of feel a little cooped up, and you know, it's like I still want to get out of the truck, but we go out. It's nice that it's getting nicer out though, so I can go outside and walk and stuff. But
so Jeff, how was your guys' week? I know you are just back out, I think this week, not last week. So how is everything going? It looked like you guys are out west, so I don't know. So we are trying to stay in the east. Actually, I would just rather try to stay, if I had to narrow it down, I would probably be happy just to stay in this Love's parking lot for the next 4 to 6 months and never leave and then have a space.
I don't think so.
So I don't know.
That'd be crazy.
Yeah, it makes your sleeper expensive. Yes, it does. Very much so. That's not really one of the reasons why we didn't want a sleeper or a shower. We just have never.
You've talked about it. It's like, you know, they're smaller.
Small,
trying to fit in them, trying to get water wherever we go, and you know, just those kind of things.
Week 2, good so far. Harrisburg. Well, stay safe. It's getting crazy out here. So. Yeah, the expense of the sleeper, and you know, for us, we like our counter space, and the shower just takes up, like, we have some friends that have one in their truck, and they essentially have no counter on one side of their truck, and so it's you know, we like our counter space. So
sorry, I have to drink my water. Oh, speaking of water.
Water.
You know, that's the topic of every live discussion.
Yeah, everything comes back to water.
Everything comes back to water. The Loves here, and I think it's Loves everywhere.
Yeah, it is.
You no longer can get any of the roller sausages stuff, and they will not let you use the coffee or the jug or the soda fountain. Someone actually physically gets that for you.
Right.
And so that's a whole nother difference, because I'm just like, all right, how many cups can I do to fit into my jug? And I know it's 100 ounces supposedly, but oddly enough, 2 of the 64-ounce cups still leave a lot of room in my jug. So I just like, I don't know how that is.
Yeah.
64 and 64 is 128.
How big is that thing?
Yeah, it's supposed to be 100 ounces, but evidently there's some room with the ice and
stuff. You guys have been busy, Jeff. Michigan to Arkansas to California, Illinois to Pennsylvania. That's quite some running around. So I'm glad you guys are busy. That sounds good. Rarely use the shower, but our other drivers do. We can't carry enough water to use the shower much, and yes, pain to find water, especially in the winter. Yeah, that's sort of always been our thoughts about it. You know, it's extra weight on the truck, and trying to find water, and it's just too narrow. I mean, I have wide shoulders. I'm a big guy,
small
so
person.
Yeah, I'm tiny, and so I think I would feel claustrophobic. And I like going into the shower and just, you know, I'm done. I don't have to hang up the towels, and I'm done.
Water pressure. That's the best out here.
So, yeah. And up until this all happened, we were perfectly fine just to walk into a shower and take a shower and not really think too much about what was going on. Now you should see us. Our procedure when we go in to take a shower is quite different than what it used to be. We sanitize everything. I mean, everything. It's like we're in there, you know, doing the other job. You know, we're now like the shower people.
Yeah, and the shower people do their job too. Don't get us wrong. It's not dirty. It's not, you know, we're not saying that. We're just being extra precautious. That's precautious.
New word. So yeah, I mean, we wipe everything down with sanitizer, and we do not allow anything that we have to touch anything that has not been sanitized. And so it just takes a little extra time. It's probably, I don't know, we spend what, another 10 minutes, I guess, in the shower because of that?
I don't think so. I think it's faster now. But...
No, I don't know. So anyway, we try to do that, and so it's just one more thing that we do, just another thing. So.
And it's so funny because we used not to really worry too much. We didn't, as we said, we don't think too much about it. And a friend of mine, when I saw her at Walmart today, she was talking about, if we think too much about it, we'll go crazy because we touch everything, and everyone touches everything. It's hard.
Yeah, private toilet is nice. I think that would be probably the only thing that we probably would use it for. It would be nice, but then again, we lose the counter space. So.
We're all about counter space.
Yes, that's it.
Now, if we had all sleeper and no freight to haul, then we'd be all right.
Right. Like I said, that's my new plan. We're going to sit here and not move for the next 6 months. We probably won't make any money, but you never know.
You never
We're really hoping for a long series of dry runs. So.
That'll pay all the bills, too.
Mm-hmm.
Need to pay all the bills. Oh, and I don't know what.
They're overrated.
Yeah.
Bills
are overrated. Yeah, and all that's gonna.
Yeah. Yes, it is. Hey, oh look, we're up to 10 likes. We have 10 thumbs ups now. This is my thing tonight. I'm trying to. Last week we had 19. So yeah, if you're watching, go out there and give us a thumbs up.
Oh, and I think I brought up last week, I don't remember, but I do yoga, and I am not a strong, twisty, pretzel-y kind of person. Her yoga is very much so for beginners, and she
Who's yoga?
Adrienne yoga.
Thank you.
And she has been on YouTube, I think, for 6 or 7 years.
Yeah,
I mean,
she has
she's
a
been
very
on here since the beginning.
Large, gigantic.
She has a
gigantic
following.
Yeah, on YouTube. Yeah, and she's really good.
Yeah, and she's very, she doesn't do a whole lot of yoga terminology, and it's fairly simple, but she just put out a list, I guess. What do you call the list on YouTube that you do? A watch list, right? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, watch this.
Watch list of yoga in uncertain times, and which was really cool because it talked about, where she has a yoga on change and a yoga for hope and a yoga, so it's just a really nice. I'm walking my way through it. I think it's 30 some videos or whatever, but not walking. You doing yoga through it.
Cindy, I was teasing. I would just be happy to sit here and not move. That way we don't have to, talk to anybody in person. So no, we actually have loads. We've been running, and I don't know if you were here before. We've actually did one load last week that actually pertained to what's going on in the world today. Then the other ones may have, but this one we know specifically did. So other than that, but yeah, the pharma stuff should be picking up. Should be doing okay. So.
Yeah, Jeff, we know about those wrestling
Wrestle
matches.
for exercise. Interesting.
Well, that's all right. And if you want some ideas, for
don't give him any ideas
for anything. Anyway, but the other part of it too is if you all want to exercise, if you're at home or if you're in the truck, and I think I mentioned this before too. Planet Fitness, whether you're a member or not, has a Facebook page, and they're doing home workouts, and which you could actually do just in the front in the cab of your truck or your living room or your kitchen or wherever you're at. So if you're having times like today where it was so rainy out, you couldn't get out and do anything, and that's my advice to all of you who are at home or in your trucks. Get outside, get some fresh air, and
just stay away from everybody and
keep your distance.
Keep your distance. So, but yeah, like Judy says, we've got the back of the truck, and it's a very nice place to work out.
It's a good yoga studio.
But yeah, unless we have a load on the truck, which is half the time, then it doesn't work too well. So yeah.
But I have been known to be out, just do it outside of the truck too, but it's not quite warm enough to do that yet. I'm just.
Oh, sure it is.
Yeah. Not really.
No, I think last week was really the first week we had noticed that spring is sort of here. In Pennsylvania, we were over there a couple times, and we noticed the all the trees are like, now instantly bloomed out, which sort of stinks in a way because now we sort of get, the runny nose, sniffly, sneezy season coming with all the allergies that Judy and I both have. And so every time, we sniff or something like that, you're worried about.
Oh, wait, is it?
So yeah, but so far so good. We're doing good. So, more water, wife?
Yes. Had a tickle. I had a tickle.
So, no, I think we're out of stuff. We're done.
Oh, and are we counting sows again?
No.
Tonight's sows.
No.
Last week was touching our faces, so
Yeah.
now we're counting sows.
I'm sorry. Sorry, we're trying to cut down on the drinking
A
stuff.
new game.
Oh, 60 minutes. We've been on it for an hour now. For an hour. What was that for?
I thought you were probably going to say, get off.
Yep, that's
Oh.
it. We're done.
Oh,
Pretty much.
we need to ask because people are on here. We did a slight talk about it in one of our videos where I said to my daughter, "Are you going to go home and veg out?" So, does anybody else know what that terminology is? Veg out. Are you going to go veg out?
Always said that. I don't know. She acted like she'd never heard it before. So I
Yeah,
don't
it
know.
was like a foreign word to her. What are you talking about, Mom?
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Now you've done it again.
I have done it again.
We can't see what people are typing when you do that.
I know. Details. We do. See?
You veg out?
Yeah. What else?
Of course.
Of course. Yes. Yeah. Our daughter did not know what that meant. She's like, "What?"
And we thought, well, maybe it's our generation. I don't know. But my mom knew it. My dad didn't. And my dad and my daughter were both like, I have no idea.
Kick
back and do nothing. Now, our kids say chillax or chill out. I think Randy had said that kids say chillax, but yeah. Or chill. But I didn't know if that was, an Ohio thing or...
Well, we're old, so yeah.
We're old, so...
Yeah,
You're
that's true.
right. You're right.
We are. We are properly aged.
We taste just so good.
What?
It's like fine wine.
Yeah,
right?
fine wine.
Fine wine.
That's for certain. So.
That's where the taste came from. We have to swirl us around.
Been a long week.
It's been a long weekend already.
Yeah. So, I think we're
out of topics
We're out of
unless
topics.
somebody else has something they want to talk about.
If anybody has any questions, please let us know because we are basically just dead in the water.
Just like our last vlog intro was like, we ain't got nothing. We ain't got anything.
Yeah. So we're happy. It seems like the stream quality is good here. We have good internet service here.
That was one of the other reasons we didn't go park at home.
Yeah, because
Because of
our
the
internet
service.
stinks at the house. So,
Our
yeah.
internet is bad at the house.
When do you pick up the new truck? We have no idea.
We did actually find out that they are still working, which is a good thing because we weren't sure
Yep.
about any of that.
Good night, Jim.
Good night.
night.
How long do you?
We don't. Literally, what you see is pretty much what we just comes rolling out of our mouths.
We spend like 2 minutes before we do it. Say, okay, where are we at?
Yeah. What we actually do is we actually film the video first, and we never really. I mean, we're literally sitting there going, "What are we going to talk about?" Well, I don't know. Okay, well, here, hit the record button, and that's how we do those. And we'll record those for as long as we talk, and then we'll usually do. The next one we'll do is the little segment that sort of introduces the very first intro where, like, hey, this happened today, and so we'll talk a little bit more about that right after this. And then we'll set for maybe 2 or 3 minutes trying to figure out, where are we sitting at today, or what are we doing today, or what are you going to leave home? And then we don't talk very much about it. It's totally unscripted. We actually did a couple of videos that we had a script, and they stunk. And so, after 31 days or 31 years, I think we're okay with
Ad-libbing.
ad-libbing. That's all we do. So, good night, Judy.
Oh, good night, Kim.
Yeah, so we don't work on those vlog intros at all. And it probably shows.
Oh, good night, Jim and Kim. I just realized
Yeah.
both of you said good night. Oh, good night, Larry.
Jeff, the only reason Judy joined, I could have went in as a guest, but if as a guest at night, like if I was doing it when I wanted to walk in, I wouldn't be able to use the hydro massage beds or anything like that. So I just went ahead and joined myself too. So
Yeah, and the hydro massage is totally worth the membership.
yeah. Everybody stay safe. Take care.
But now we can't do that.
And the neat
Because
thing
they're
that
not
Planet
open.
Fitness said, they are actually basically going to waive the membership fees or the gym fees for what, a couple of months or so.
Yeah.
So we had just joined, and it's like 20 bucks a month for each of us. And by the time you add taxes, it's close to 50 bucks a month for all of us. And so they're going to waive that for a couple of months. That works out pretty good.
Yeah.
Good night.
Good night, Russian family.
Thank you. You're welcome. We're
Seems
just
so weird to say that.
We're just doing.
That's totally. I know been that last name for a long time, but I just can't get that out of my mouth.
Yeah. Yeah. So. So I think everybody's going to bed, Jude.
Yep, I think we're going to sign off here too. I've
Yeah.
had a long day that wasn't really that.
It wasn't a long
but-
day. So, but I guess, yeah, thank you everybody for joining us tonight. It was nice seeing people here. Take care and stay safe and be
and
careful
healthy.
and
Yeah.
be healthy.
And
And
keep your distance.
keep your distance, which is impossible in this truck. She's right here next to me. I can't get away.
breathing all over him.
She's infecting me as we speak. So anyway, but I guess we will do this again live next week if we can, depending on the internet connection, and we'll have a vlog maybe next time. So everybody have a good night tonight, and I guess we'll see you all
In the next
In
video.
the next video.
It's like a repeat. So long, everybody. Have a good night, everybody.
good night.